In a dramatic turn of events, Lil Durk, once the boss of the popular rap collective Only the Family (OTF), now finds himself behind bars in Broward County Jail. The rapper, whose once lavish lifestyle included private jets and sold-out shows, is now facing life behind bars after his arrest by federal agents. This shocking development stems from charges related to a murder-for-hire plot, one that involves the tragic events surrounding the 2022 shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin. If convicted, Durk could be sentenced to a statutory maximum of life in federal prison. The 32-year-old rapper, whose real name is Durk Banks, was booked into jail after an indictment was filed against him by the U.S. District Attorney in Los Angeles. The indictment accuses Durk and 5 other alleged members of OTF of conspiracy to commit murder for hire, resulting in death, and using a machine gun in the act. This case revolves around the shooting that occurred in Los Angeles in August 2022, which tragically claimed the life of Quando Rondo's cousin. The federal authorities believe that Rondo himself was the intended target of the attack, which is said to have been an act of retaliation for the 2020 death of rapper King Von. It's clear that federal agents have been closely investigating the connections between Durk and his affiliates in relation to this violent incident. What appeared to be an isolated event soon unraveled as part of a larger, ongoing saga tied to past conflicts, specifically the tragic shooting that occurred at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta back in 2020. The authorities believe this latest crime was a direct continuation of that violent feud. The indictment has now linked 5 individuals to the murder in broad daylight, and the feds seem determined to hold all those involved accountable. As the case develops, the stakes have never been higher for Durk. Once at the top of the rap game, now he faces a potential life sentence, with his future in music and his freedom hanging in the balance. The courtroom drama continues, leaving fans and observers alike wondering what will come next for the artist who seemed poised to dominate the industry until this devastating turn of fate. Lil Durk's recent arrest has sent shockwaves through the rap world, especially since it connects him to a murder-for-hire plot with deep ties to the tragic loss of his best friend, King Von. The case has escalated quickly, with federal authorities uncovering mounting evidence that implicates the rapper in a deadly conspiracy linked to a shooting in August 2022. Lil Durk, now in Broward County Jail, is facing life in federal prison on charges related to the fatal shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab. This arrest comes after months of investigation, as the feds sought to connect the dots between Durk and the broader criminal network. Reports from the scene suggest that Durk's involvement in the plot has now been substantiated by substantial evidence. The rapper's name appeared in a recent indictment, marking a significant turn in the case that links him and his OTF affiliates to a series of violent acts, all seemingly related to the ongoing retaliation for King Von's death. Federal agents have gathered information that reveals a clear pattern of orchestrated violence, with Durk allegedly playing a key role in organizing hits through his criminal network. One of the more shocking revelations in the indictment was the use of Durk's credit card to fund and coordinate travel for the conspirators who allegedly carried out the shooting. According to the indictment, co-conspirators flew to California using tickets purchased with the credit card linked to Durk's one-time manager and father. The conspiracy unfolded with chilling precision, with the shooters tracking their target to a Los Angeles hotel and then ambushing him in a violent attack that left Lil Pab dead and several others wounded. The feds are now piecing together the involvement of key figures in Durk's inner circle and their connections to the crime. As investigators continue to close in, the big question remains: who within the circle provided the critical information that led to the attack? Was there an informant within their ranks? In a tragic twist, the plot appears to have been further complicated by the tragic loss of Lil Pab, whose death became the focus of this deadly conspiracy. The murder was a direct response to the fallout from King Von's death in 2020, and it set off a chain of violent events that has now spiraled into a much larger criminal investigation. The indictment highlights how the conspirators, using 2 vehicles, including one with no registered license plate, tracked their target to a gas station in Los Angeles. They fired at least 18 rounds into the vehicle, killing Lil Pab in the process. The aftermath saw the conspirators attempting to cover their tracks, making their final mistake by using the same credit card to purchase return flights to Chicago. The plot has grown even more complex as Lil Durk's upcoming trial for the murder-for-hire charge has been delayed until October 2025. Legal experts say the delay is due to the vast amount of evidence that needs to be examined, more than 230 gigabytes of digital data, thousands of pages of documents, and numerous witness testimonies. However, the trial's postponement was not solely based on the volume of evidence. A newly uncovered FBI affidavit has surfaced, linking Durk to yet another murder-for-hire scheme. This one involves the 2022 murder of Stefan Mack, a 24-year-old gang leader, and is believed to be a retaliation for the death of Durk's brother, Thing, in 2021. The affidavit cites text messages and social media exchanges that suggest Durk offered a financial incentive for the killing. As the pieces continue to fall into place, the case against Lil Durk is taking on an even darker tone, with the rapper now facing charges that could extend far beyond the murder-for-hire plot originally linked to the Quando Rondo shooting. The investigation has revealed a network of violence and retribution that has plagued Durk's world, making it clear that the stakes for him and his affiliates are only getting higher. Fans and the industry alike will be watching closely as this dramatic saga continues to unfold, with a potential life sentence hanging over Durk's head. Lil Durk's legal battle has taken a new twist with his unsuccessful attempt to secure pre-trial release, which highlights the gravity of the charges he faces. Prosecutors are relying on an unsealed FBI affidavit, which lays out substantial evidence suggesting that Durk is not suitable for release pending trial. This affidavit, part of the investigation into the shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin in 2022, underlines the deep connections between Durk and the violent events tied to his career and personal life. The charges against him are intricately linked to the tragic death of his close friend and collaborator, King Von, marking yet another chapter in an ongoing feud that continues to fuel violence and legal trouble. The connection between Lil Durk and King Von is undeniable. The altercation between Von's crew and Quando Rondo's camp in 2020, which ended in Von's untimely death, continues to ripple through both the streets and the legal system. Prosecutors point to this as a major catalyst for the actions Durk took in the aftermath. It's clear that what began as a heated street rivalry has now evolved into a web of legal consequences, pulling Durk deeper into a case that is likely to define his future. Reflecting on this situation, it's almost surreal to consider how a violent encounter in 2020, an incident rooted in ego and street pride, has led to these devastating consequences. As one YouTube commenter insightfully put it, it's tragic that all of this chaos can be traced back to a fistfight, which now threatens to shape the rest of Durk's life. But when you look at the bond Durk shared with King Von, it's easier to understand why Durk felt compelled to take drastic action. Lil Durk, born Derek Banks in 1992, grew up in Englewood, Chicago, an area known for its high crime rates and gang activity. His early life was marred by hardships, including the absence of his father, who was incarcerated when Durk was just a baby. These struggles fueled his rise in the music industry, where he found a way to escape his turbulent environment. Music became his refuge, a path that allowed him to express himself and eventually rise to the top of the rap game. King Von, born Devin Bennett in 1994, came from the violent O-Block neighborhood of Chicago. Like Durk, Von's early life was shaped by street violence and a series of legal run-ins. Despite these challenges, Von's storytelling skills set him apart, drawing attention in Chicago's local rap scene. Durk, already an established figure, saw potential in Von and took him under his wing, offering both guidance and a platform to showcase his talent. Their friendship was grounded in survival, loyalty, and the shared experience of growing up in dangerous environments. When Durk signed Von to his label, Only the Family, OTF, it marked the beginning of a fruitful partnership. Von's debut mixtape, Grandson Volume 1, released in 2019, featured tracks with Durk and was met with commercial success. His vivid storytelling style quickly earned him a dedicated following. Despite his rising fame, Von never truly distanced himself from the street life. He had been involved in gang activities long before he found success in music, and even after his rap career took off, he continued to embrace his dangerous persona. This was part of what made Von such a compelling figure, but also a dangerous one. Before he ever picked up a mic, King Von had a well-established reputation on the streets. He was a member of the Black Disciples gang, and his rise through the ranks of this notorious group was swift and violent. Von's actions, including the killing of a rival gang member named King Doc in 2012, only cemented his reputation as a ruthless figure. Throughout the years, Von used social media as a platform to boast about his street activities, further cementing his image as a fearsome figure in Chicago's gang culture. When Von began rapping, he continued to leverage his street credibility, often dissing rival gangs and other rappers who crossed him. His involvement in the gang culture was evident, and his music became a reflection of that lifestyle. The rivalry between Von's Black Disciples and rival gangs like the SDLBT group, who were based just a block away, created a hostile environment that would eventually spill over into the music industry, making it impossible for Von to separate his street life from his artistic one. For Durk, the death of King Von in 2020 was not just the loss of a friend, but a personal call to action. The grief and anger Durk felt over his friend's death, coupled with the pressure from fans urging him to avenge Von's murder, set off a chain of events that would lead to the legal mess he finds himself in today. As much as the street code dictates loyalty, it also demands retaliation, and for Durk, this meant going to extreme lengths to avenge his friend. This desire for retribution, fueled by the tragic loss of Von and the ongoing gang conflict, would ultimately lead to the charges he now faces. The case against Durk is a complex one, with deep roots in the streets of Chicago and the tragic fallout from King Von's death. It's a story of survival, loyalty, and the consequences of living a life intertwined with violence and vengeance. Now, as the legal system continues to unravel the layers of this case, Durk's future hangs in the balance, with his past threatening to define the course of his life from here on out. At the start of 2024, Lil Durk was riding high, basking in the recognition he had earned for his impact on both music and his community. The rapper, known for his hit song, All My Life, was honored in his hometown, where he received multiple keys to the city, including those from the village of Broadview and the village of Bellwood. These accolades were seen as a testament to his charitable work through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, which aimed to uplift local communities. For many, it seemed like Durk had truly solidified his place as one of the most influential figures in the city. However, just days after this moment of triumph, everything came crashing down. Durk's recent honor was suddenly revoked following his arrest in Florida. On October 18, 2024, the key to the city he had received was rescinded by Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson after it was revealed that Durk had been arrested by U.S. Marshals in connection with an alleged conspiracy to commit murder. The village not only revoked the key, but also severed ties with his nonprofit organization, citing the need for a higher moral standard in their community. While the justice system presumes innocence until proven guilty, the mayor emphasized that public opinion held a different, higher bar when it came to community figures. This sudden turn of events painted a grim picture of the consequences of living a life tied to gang culture. The fallout from Durk's arrest raised questions about the future of his career and empire. Could his legacy withstand the weight of the legal trouble now surrounding him? Fans and critics alike began to speculate whether Durk's reign in the rap game was coming to an end, especially with reports suggesting an even deeper betrayal from within his inner circle. Shockingly, rumors began to circulate that an insider had been working with authorities, gathering information that led to Durk's arrest. The person in question was Jam, a former member of the F, who had secretly worn a wire for years. Jam, who had spent 12 years in prison for attempted murder, had reportedly been the one to connect Durk to the alleged murder-for-hire plot targeting Quando Rondo. The story broke through social media when Say Cheese reported that Jam had been working undercover for years, collecting crucial evidence that ultimately led to the downfall of Durk's empire. The news hit like a bombshell, leaving many in disbelief. The details were even more damning when it was revealed that Jam had been a close associate of Durk's, with Durk supporting him during his time in prison. According to Jam, Durk had provided financial help and even sent him cars, all in an effort to keep him straight. In an interview with DJ Vlad, Jam reflected on how Durk's music had motivated him during his darkest days behind bars, and how the rapper had helped him stay afloat financially. Yet, despite this history of support, Jam allegedly turned on his former ally by secretly working as a mole for the authorities. The betrayal was hard for many to process, especially when considering how close Durk had been to Jam. It was a bitter reminder of how even those who you consider family can be the ones who hurt you the most. Durk himself, known for his ability to spot disloyalty, could not have predicted this turn of events. One commenter put it perfectly, saying, "To be betrayed by a childhood friend after you looked out for him and then wearing the wire around Durk is insane. It'd be the closest ones to you." This sentiment resonated deeply with many who understood the sting of betrayal from someone trusted. The shock of this backstabbing shook not only Durk's fans, but the entire rap community. His rise had been built on a foundation of loyalty and support, but it was becoming clear that his story might now be defined by his fall from grace. The actions of one man had the power to destroy years of hard work and loyalty. As the dust began to settle, it left a glaring question: can a reputation ever truly recover from such a devastating betrayal? Durk's arrest and the revelation of the mole in his camp is a harsh reminder that in the world of street life, trust is a fragile thing. And sometimes, the most painful blows come from those you least expect.